The Galactic Council convened an emergency session as the crisis deepened. Representatives from 200 species gathered in the great circular chamber on the ancient station that had served as council headquarters for millennia. "Order!" demanded the current council chair, a Vyrian elder whose crystalline body flashed warning reds. "We face unprecedented division within our ranks." The Centaurian delegation rose. "We formally challenge the war declaration against Earth," their speaker announced. "We have evidence that the Zardax deliberately misrepresented human intentions." Shocked murmurs filled the chamber. The Zardax High Commander stepped forward, mandibles clicking angrily. "These accusations are baseless," it chittered. "Humans are dangerous. Their violent tendencies are well documented." "Is that so?" asked the Centaurian. He activated a display showing Admiral Baker's peaceful diplomatic mission. "Yet they seek alliance, not conquest, even after our unprovoked attack." More species began to voice concerns. The Nubulons, once part of the invasion's leadership, now distanced themselves from the Zardax. "We were shown selective evidence," admitted a Nubulon representative, its gaseous form swirling with agitation. Full context was withheld. As the debate raged, a Vyrian investigator presented shocking findings. "Our audit of Council communications reveals the Zardax altered intelligence reports about Earth. Why?" All eyes turned to the Zardax delegation. Under mounting pressure, a junior Zardax officer broke ranks. "Earth sits upon the Nexus lines," it revealed. The chamber erupted. The Nexus lines were rare cosmic energy convergences, extremely valuable and considered sacred by many species. "The Zardax Ascension ritual requires control of a nexus point," the defector continued. "Earth has the strongest nexus in the sector." The truth was finally exposed. The war had never been about human violence. It was about the Zardax gaining power through an ancient ritual. The Council formally splintered, with the majority of species now opposing the Zardax faction. On Earth, the combined human-alien resistance forces prepared for the final campaign to liberate the planet. Steve Jackson's mountain fighters, now, including defectors from 7 Council species, gathered for their most ambitious operation yet. "Today we take back Denver," Steve told the assembled fighters, humans standing shoulder to shoulder with former enemies. "Our alien allies have provided the access codes to their defense grid." Amy Peterson had developed a medical corps that treated both human and alien wounded. "Their biology is different, but pain is universal," she explained to her team. "Compassion transcends species." In orbit, Commander Phillips coordinated with alien allies to understand remaining Zardax weaknesses. The space battle reached its climax when Phillips and Kate Winters led a daring assault on the Zardax flagship. "All ships, pattern Omega," Phillips ordered. "Focus fire on these coordinates." Human vessels flew alongside alien ships that had defected to their cause. Their combined firepower created an opening in the flagship's defenses. "Boarding teams go," Winters commanded. Phillips led the mixed human-alien strike force that transported onto the Zardax vessel. They fought their way to the bridge where they confronted the Zardax High Commander. "Surrender," Phillips demanded, weapon raised. The insectoid alien's compound eyes gleamed with hatred. "Humans are beneath us. We will never—" A crystalline Vyrian on Phillips's team interrupted by firing a stun blast. The High Commander collapsed. "Some still refuse to learn," the Vyrian observed. With the capture of the High Commander, the remaining Zardax forces lost coordination. Across Earth, they began to retreat or surrender. In Chicago, Amy watched from a rooftop as alien ships rose from the city, abandoning their occupation. Civilians emerged from hiding, looking up with hope and disbelief. In the mountains, Steve's team liberated the alien command center that had controlled Western North America. The Zardax officers were already evacuating when they arrived. "They're running," Danny said, amazed. Steve nodded. "Not just from us. They're running from the consequences of their lies." As Earth celebrated its first taste of freedom, Admiral Baker received word from the Centaurians. The Council majority had officially condemned the Zardax actions and recognized Earth's sovereignty. The war that had begun with an ultimatum was ending with an unprecedented galactic realignment. Humanity had not just survived, they had changed the course of galactic history. 1 year after first contact, Earth looked very different. The scars of war remained. Ruined cities, cratered landscapes, millions lost. But there was also something new: hope and visitors from the stars. On a clear spring morning in the rebuilt United Nations Plaza in New York, representatives from over 150 alien species gathered for a historic ceremony. Humans stood side by side with beings from across the galaxy. Admiral Baker and Dr. Monroe took their places at the central podium, Earth's chief negotiators for the new galactic order. "Today we sign the Terran Accords," Baker announced to the assembled crowd and the billions watching worldwide. "A new framework for galactic cooperation based on principles all sentient beings can embrace: sovereignty, mutual defense, and respect." The first to sign was the Centaurian elder who had championed Earth's cause. Next came the Nubulon representative, its gaseous form contained in an elegant environmental suit. One by one, delegates approached: crystalline virions, methane-breathing, Drogorans, hive-minded Quantics, and dozens more. The remaining Zardax forces had retreated to their home systems, now isolated by galactic sanctions. Their attempt to seize Earth's nexus point had failed, and their deception had cost them their standing in the Council. President Carter stepped forward to address the new interstellar assembly. 1 year ago, the Galactic Council threatened Earth with extinction. They expected surrender. Instead, they discovered humanity's true strength, not just our ability to fight, but our relentless commitment to freedom and justice. She paused, looking across the diverse gathering. In their ultimatum, they feared humanity's capacity for violence. What they failed to understand was our greater capacity for cooperation, adaptation, and forgiveness. These qualities have not just saved Earth, they have reshaped galactic politics. Across the planet, recovery efforts continued with alien assistance. In Chicago, Amy Peterson supervised a new medical center where human and alien doctors worked together, sharing knowledge and techniques. Alien technology helped heal injuries once considered permanent. "The bone-knitting procedure is working better than expected," Amy told a Virian medical officer. "We've adapted it to human physiology with a 93% success rate." The Virian's crystalline form pulsed with pleased blue light. "And your anesthetic compounds work remarkably well on Nubulon patients. This exchange benefits all our peoples." In Colorado, Steve Jackson guided visitors through the new settlement being built in the mountains. What had been a hidden resistance base was becoming the first mixed human-alien community on Earth. "We're using Quantic hive construction techniques, combined with Earth materials," Steve explained to a group of officials. "The buildings withstand earthquakes and regulate temperature naturally." A young Zardax, one of many who had defected during the war, worked alongside human construction crews, ancient enemies finding common purpose. In orbit, Commander Phillips and Kate Winters led the new Earth Defense Fleet. Their ships now patrolled alongside allied alien vessels, part of a mutual protection agreement. "Sensor readings normal," reported Winters from the bridge of the Defender, Earth's first true interstellar vessel. "Centaurian patrol reports all quiet in the outer system." Phillips nodded. "Schedule the diplomatic jump to Alpha Centauri for 800 tomorrow. The trade negotiations are important." The Defender was built with technology from a dozen worlds, a symbol of what cooperation could achieve. Humans were learning quickly, adapting alien science and sharing Earth innovations in return. Dr. Monroe had established the Nexus Research Institute to study the energy convergence that had made Earth so valuable to the Zardax. "We're finding ways to harness the Nexus energy for healing, not power," she explained to visiting scientists. "It connects to all living things in ways we're just beginning to understand." As the signing ceremony concluded, Admiral Baker looked out over the gathering of species. Just 1 year earlier, humanity had faced extinction. Now they were helping to build a more just galactic civilization. "We were not tested because we were weak," Baker told a Centaurian diplomat privately. "We were tested because we had something to teach the galaxy That fury has its place, but so does forgiveness. From threats came unity. From war came understanding. From humanity's relentless fury came finally peace. 6 months into the war, humanity was ready. Resistance cells worldwide prepared for Operation Thunderbolt, Earth's first coordinated global counteroffensive. The plan was ambitious and desperate, but humans had nothing to lose. General Martinez addressed military leaders via secure communication. Today, we show the Galactic Council that Earth belongs to humanity. Dr. Monroe's bacterial weapon is our primary advantage. All units are go for 0600 hours worldwide. Good luck. Earth stands together. As dawn broke over each time zone, resistance fighters moved into position. In the Rocky Mountains, Steve Jackson led his team toward the largest alien base in North America. They carried backpacks filled with Dr. Monroe's bacterial spray. Remember, Steve told his people, target their air systems first. Their environmental controls are their weak point. In orbit, Commander Phillips prepared Earth's first true space fleet. The ships were ugly, a mix of human and scavenged alien technology, but they worked. Phillips had 30 vessels, each carrying Dr. Monroe's FTL communication disruptors. All ships report ready, said Kate Winters, now Phillips is second in command. Phillips nodded. Deploy on my mark. Remember, our job is to cut off their communication. The ground forces do the rest. At exactly 0600 hours in each time zone, humanity struck. Steve's team breached the alien base's ventilation system, releasing the bacterial agent. Within minutes, the Zardak soldiers began collapsing, their insectoid bodies unable to fight the simple Earth bacteria. In cities worldwide, similar attacks occurred simultaneously. Amy Peterson led a team through Chicago's sewers, emerging inside the main alien control center. They released the bacteria and seized the facility within an hour. In orbit, Phillips' fleet positioned the FTL disruptors around Earth. When activated, they created a field that blocked the aliens faster than light. Communications. Suddenly, the occupation forces couldn't contact each other or their fleet. The effect was devastating. Without central command, the alien forces fell into disarray. The Council's rigid military structure became their weakness. Their soldiers couldn't adapt without orders. The most significant victory came when Steve's mountain fighters captured an intact alien command center in Colorado. Inside, they found detailed information on Council strategies, technologies, and, most importantly, internal politics. They're not as united as they want us to think, Steve told General Martinez over a secure line. Some species are refusing to support the war. There's disagreement in their council. Martinez's eyes widened. Send everything. This could change our approach entirely. As Thunderbolt continued, the council sent reinforcements, but with a difference. Phillips noticed it first from orbit. The new ships have different markings, he reported, and their tactics are inconsistent. Some are pressing the attack, others seem to be holding back. Dr. Monroe analyzed the data. The fleet isn't unified. Look at these energy signatures. The ships from the Virian and Nubulan systems are not fully engaging. On the ground, Amy's resistance fighters in Chicago captured a Nubulan officer. Instead of resistance, the gaseous alien surprised them. We'll provide tactical information, it whispered. Many in the council believe this war is unjust. President Carter and Admiral Baker convened an emergency meeting. The alien prisoner had revealed critical information. The council was fracturing over the Earth campaign. This changes everything, Baker said. We're not just fighting a war. We're in the middle of a galactic political struggle. Carter nodded. Then we need to be smarter. Not just fighters, but diplomats. For the first time since the invasion, Earth's leaders allowed themselves to feel more than just determination. Now there was genuine hope. Humanity wasn't just surviving, they were turning the tide. In space, Phillips watched as several alien ships suddenly broke formation and jumped away. His tactical officer checked the readings in disbelief. Sir, they're retreating. Phillips didn't smile. The war was far from over. But something had changed. The invasion force that had seemed unstoppable 6 months ago was now on the defensive. Humanity's relentless fury had accomplished what the Council thought impossible. Across Earth, resistance fighters pushed forward, reclaiming human territory one battle at a time. Operation Thunderbolt wasn't the end, but it was the beginning of the end of alien occupation. As humanity pushed back the invasion forces on Earth, Admiral Baker prepared for a dangerous mission. Intelligence from captured alien officers suggested a potential ally, the Centaurians, a species known for their ethical stance within the Council. "It's risky," President Carter said during the mission briefing. "Using a captured alien ship to travel to another star system?" Baker nodded grimly. "But necessary. We can't win this war through fighting alone. We need allies." Dr. Monroe would accompany him. Her knowledge of alien biology and technology was invaluable. They selected a small team of specialists, including a linguist and several military personnel. Their ship was a smaller Nubulan vessel captured mostly intact during Operation Thunderbolt. Earth's engineers had studied it for weeks, learning its controls and systems. "We've mapped the faster-than-light drive," explained the chief engineer. "In theory, it works similar to our theoretical warp drive concepts, but instead of warping space, it creates a bubble that moves through subspace." Baker looked at the ship with mixed feelings. "How sure are you it will work?" The engineer hesitated. 80%? "We've run all possible tests without actually jumping." "Good enough," Baker decided. "We leave tomorrow." The journey to Centauri Prime took 3 days in subspace. Baker spent the time studying everything they knew about Centaurian culture. They were a peaceful, highly intelligent species resembling tall, slender humanoids with iridescent skin. The ship dropped out of subspace on the edge of the Centaurian system. Almost immediately, they were surrounded by patrol vessels. "We come seeking audience with your leaders," Baker transmitted in the Centaurian language. "Earth wishes to discuss the unjust war forced upon us by the Zardax faction." There was a long silence. Then, "Proceed to coordinates. Any deviation will be met with force." The escorts guided them to a magnificent orbital station. Baker and Dr. Monroe led their team through alien corridors until they reached a grand chamber where 3 Centaurian elders waited. "We acknowledge your courage in coming here," said the central elder, his skin shifting from blue to green. "Few would risk such a journey while their world burns." Baker bowed respectfully. "Earth needs allies. We believe the Centaurians stand for justice." "What proof do you bring that this war is unjust?" asked another elder. Dr. Monroe stepped forward. She displayed video evidence of Earth before the invasion, showing humans working to overcome their violent past, developing renewable energy, creating art and music. "We were threatened with extinction for being too violent," she explained. Yet the Council attacked without provocation, killing millions. The Centaurians conferred quietly. "The Council's action appears contradictory to its stated purpose, and," the first elder admitted. Baker sensed an opening. "We have reason to believe the Zardax had other motives for targeting Earth." Meanwhile, on Earth, President Carter established communication with other dissenting alien species. The Nubulan defector had provided contact protocols for reaching sympathetic factions. "Our world has suffered greatly," Carter told a Virian representative via secure transmission. "But we seek peace, not revenge. We ask only for our sovereignty and a fair place among the stars." The Virian crystal pulsed thoughtfully. "Many on the Council now question the Zardax leadership. Your resistance has shown qualities we did not expect from humans." In Chicago, Amy Peterson made a surprising discovery while treating captured aliens. Some had begun questioning their orders. A young Zardax soldier, recovering from injuries, spoke to her through a translator. "Our leaders told us humans were mindless savages," it clicked. "Yet you treat even your enemies with care. This contradicts our intelligence." Amy continued bandaging its wounded limb. "We're not perfect. We've made many mistakes. But we're trying to be better." "This concept of trying to improve is fascinating," the alien responded. "In Zardax culture, one either succeeds or is replaced." Word of these conversations spread. More alien soldiers began to surrender rather than fight. Some even offered information or assistance. The galaxy was changing. What had begun as a simple invasion was evolving into something more complex, a struggle not just for Earth's survival, but for the heart and soul of galactic governance. On Centauri Prime, the elders reached a decision. "We will formally challenge the Council's war declaration," they told Baker. "This conflict violates our founding principles." Baker felt hope rising. Earth had found its first official ally among the stars. The 30th day arrived. Commander Ryan Phillips stood at his post on the experimental defense satellite Aegis. Earth had built 12 such satellites in the past month, a miracle of engineering and cooperation. Each was equipped with Dr. Monroe's shield-disrupting technology. The warning came at dawn, Pacific time. "Multiple objects detected approaching from beyond lunar orbit," reported the tracking officer. 53 large vessels. Phillips watched the radar screen as the alien fleet appeared. Their ships were massive, each one larger than an aircraft carrier. They arranged themselves in a perfect half-circle around Earth. "All stations on alert," Phillips ordered, his voice calm despite his racing heart. "Prepare defense grid." In command centers across the planet, military leaders waited. They had known this day would come. Still, seeing the alien armada was shocking. Humanity's weapons seemed tiny in comparison. The aliens made no attempt to communicate. No final warning, no chance to surrender. Energy readings from their ships spiked suddenly. "They're charging weapons," shouted the sensor operator. "Defensive. Shields up," Phillips commanded. The first attack came like lightning. Beams of energy shot from the alien vessels, targeting military bases, power plants, and defense installations around the globe. Buildings exploded, cities burned. Millions died in the first wave. But something unexpected happened. Dr. Monroe's shields worked, at least partially. The defense satellites absorbed some of the attack, reducing the damage. Not enough to save everyone, but enough to keep Earth fighting. President Carter, now in an underground bunker, received damage reports from around the world. "Casualties?" she asked, her voice tight. "Estimated 8 million in the first strike," her advisor replied. "But our defenses blunted what should have been much worse." Carter closed her eyes briefly. Counterattack as planned. Earth's remaining military forces launched everything they had. Missiles, fighter jets, and orbital weapons fired simultaneously at the alien fleet. Most were destroyed before reaching their targets, but the attack wasn't meant to succeed. It was a distraction. Phillips watched the alien fleet's formation closely. With each attack and defense, he studied their patterns. Something about their movement seemed familiar, almost predictable. "They're using standard combat algorithms," he realized suddenly. Like a computer program with set responses. Phillips quickly accessed Dr. Monroe's data on alien communications. Against direct orders, Phillips gathered a small squadron of experimental fighters. Kate Winters led Alpha Team, with Phillips commanding Beta Team. "I've detected a pattern in their shield." "Modulation," Phillips told the pilots. "It changes frequency every 76 seconds. There's a brief vulnerability at each change." "That's barely a 2-second window," Winters pointed out. 2 seconds is all we need," Phillips replied. "We attack in waves, precisely timed." The human fighters launched from hidden bases. They were small, maneuverable, and nearly invisible to alien sensors. As the main alien fleet prepared for another attack on Earth, Phillips's squadron approached their rear flank. "Alpha Team, attack pattern Delta," Winters ordered. "Target the flagship on my mark." The fighters swooped in perfect coordination. They fired precisely at the shield transition point Phillips had identified. For a moment, nothing happened. Then an explosion bloomed against the alien ship's hull. The shield had failed. "It worked," shouted a pilot. "Again," Phillips commanded. "Second, target." 2 more alien ships were damaged before the fleet realized what was happening. They broke formation, turning to face this unexpected threat. "All units, scatter and retreat," Phillips ordered. They had done enough damage for now. As the human fighters fled back to Earth, the alien fleet regrouped. Their perfect half-circle was broken. 3 ships drifted, damaged, no longer able to attack. In her underground lab, Dr. Monroe received the combat data. "They're adapting already," she warned General Martinez. "The next shield frequency will be different." "But we proved they're vulnerable," Martinez replied. "We can hurt them." Across a devastated Earth, people heard the news. Humanity had destroyed 3 alien ships. It wasn't victory, but it was hope. The Galactic Council had expected surrender. Instead, they faced resistance. The war had only begun. Earth was burning, but humanity's fury was just igniting. 2 months after the first attack, Earth was barely recognizable. Alien forces had established control zones in strategic locations around the globe. Their ground troops, mostly robotic, soldiers controlled by Zardax officers, patrolled the ruins of once great cities, but humans refused to submit. In the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, former park ranger Steve Jackson led a group of resistance fighters. Steve knew every cave, trail, and hidden valley in the mountains. This knowledge made his group nearly impossible to catch. "They're sending another patrol through Thompson Canyon," Steve told his team as they gathered in their hidden cave base. "Same route as last week." "They never learn," said Danny, a former construction worker. "Those bugs think we're just dumb animals." Steve checked his weapon, a rifle modified with alien technology parts. "Their mistake. Let's move out." An hour later, Steve's team was in position. The alien patrol, 6 robotic soldiers and 1 Zardax commander, marched through the narrow canyon. They never looked up at the ridges above. Steve gave the signal. Boulders crashed down, crushing 2 robots instantly. The humans opened fire, their modified weapons cutting through alien armor. In 30 seconds, it was over. The patrol was destroyed. "Gather their tech," Steve ordered. "Anything useful. We move in 5 minutes." Across the continent in Chicago, Nurse Amy Peterson worked in the darkness of an abandoned subway station. The station had become an underground hospital for wounded resistance fighters. Amy had no fancy equipment, just basic medical supplies and her skills. A young man was brought in on a stretcher, badly burned by an alien weapon. "What's your name?" Amy asked as she cleaned his wounds. "Max," he whispered. "I was trying to get food from the distribution center when they caught me." Amy nodded. The alien-controlled food distribution centers were dangerous but necessary for city survivors. "You're going to be okay, Max. Tomorrow we'll move you to the safe house." Amy's underground network had saved hundreds of civilians. They smuggled people through sewers and old tunnels past alien patrols to safer areas outside the occupied zones. As she worked, Amy's radio crackled. It was a secure channel used by resistance groups worldwide. "This is Antarctica Base," came Dr. Monroe's voice. "Breakthrough achieved. Repeat, breakthrough achieved. All cells implement Protocol Echo when ready." Amy smiled. For weeks, they had been collecting samples from dead alien soldiers and sending them to Dr. Monroe's hidden research facility beneath Antarctica. The doctor had been searching for biological weaknesses in the alien invaders. In that frozen laboratory, Dr. Monroe and her international team studied the alien samples day and night. They had discovered something remarkable. Many Earth bacteria were deadly to the aliens, especially the Zardax. The invaders had no immunity to Earth's microbes. "It's like War of the Worlds," one scientist had commented. But real. Dr. Monroe had developed a weapon, a bacteria spray that wouldn't harm humans but could incapacitate or kill alien biology. Protocol Echo was the plan to use this weapon worldwide. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council faced unexpected problems. Reports from Earth were troubling. Human resistance was stronger than anticipated. More concerning were the messages from Council members not involved in the invasion. "The Centaurians have formally protested our actions," a Virian delegate reported during a council meeting. 6 other species have joined them. They claim we violated our own laws by attacking Earth without proper cause. The Zardax High Commander dismissed these concerns. "Irrelevant. Once Earth is fully subjugated, the Council will accept our decision." But privately, some Council species were questioning the war. Earth's fierce defense had impressed them. The humans' ability to adapt alien technology and mount effective counterattacks despite overwhelming odds wasn't the behavior of savages. A Nubulan observer secretly recorded a human family sharing their food with a wounded resistance fighter. The recording spread among council species, raising more questions about the portrayal of humans as violent and unworthy of respect. As Earth fought for survival, cracks were forming in the unity of its enemies. Humanity's resistance wasn't just a military struggle, it was becoming a test of the Council's own values. The message came on a Tuesday. Every radio telescope on Earth picked it up at the same time. It was not random space noise or a natural phenomenon. It was a clear, purposeful signal aimed directly at Earth. Scientists worked day and night to decode it. After 3 days, they understood. It was an invitation, or maybe a summons. Aliens wanted to meet humans for the first time. They called themselves the Galactic Council. Within hours, world leaders gathered. They chose Admiral John Baker to represent Earth. Baker was calm, smart, and had led peace missions before. He was the best choice for humanity's first meeting with aliens. The meeting point was set for neutral ground, Earth's moon. Baker and a small team of scientists, diplomats, and security personnel boarded the newest space vessel, the Defender. As they approached the landing site, they saw the alien ship. It dwarfed the Defender like an ocean liner next to a rowboat. "Stay sharp," Baker told his team. "But remember, we're here for peace." The alien ship opened. 3 completely different creatures emerged. One looked like a giant insect with multiple limbs and compound eyes. Another appeared to be made of living crystal that changed colors as it moved. The third seemed barely solid, a swirling mass of gas somehow holding a humanoid shape. "I am Admiral John Baker of Earth," Baker said, standing tall despite his racing heart. "We welcome you in peace." The insect-like alien stepped forward. Its mouth parts clicked and whirred. A mechanical voice translated, "I am High Counselor Xest of the Zardax. This is Counselor Prism of the Virians and Counselor Vapor of the Nubulans. We represent the Galactic Council, governing body of 237 spacefaring species." Baker nodded respectfully. "We're honored to join the galactic community." "You misunderstand," clicked the Zardax. "You are not being invited to join. You are being contained." The temperature in the room seemed to drop. Baker kept his face neutral. "I don't understand." The crystalline alien, Prism, flashed red and orange. "We have observed Earth for decades. Humans are violent, unpredictable, and developing technology too quickly. You fight constant wars. You develop weapons before wisdom. We have studied your broadcasts, your internet, your history," added the gaseous Nubulan, its voice like wind through pipes. "Humanity is dangerous. The Council has voted. Earth must accept protected status." Baker frowned. "And what does protected status mean exactly?" "You will surrender all military capabilities," the Zardax explained. "Council peacekeepers will ensure humans do not develop space weapons or faster-than-light travel. Earth will receive benefits, medical, knowledge, clean energy technology, but will not be permitted to leave your solar system." Baker felt cold anger rising. He kept his voice level. "And if we refuse?" The 3 aliens exchanged looks. The crystal one pulsed deep purple. "Then Earth will be considered a threat to galactic security," the Zardax said simply. "Appropriate measures will be taken." "You're threatening us with extinction," Baker said, "because you're afraid we might be threatening?" "We are preventing a future problem," the Nubulan whispered. "It is logical. It is necessary." Baker looked at each alien slowly. "Humanity has its flaws. We're working on them. But we will never surrender our freedom or right to defend ourselves. Not to anyone. You have 30 Earth days to reconsider." The crystal alien flashed bright yellow. "The Council's decision is final." "So is ours," Baker replied. "Earth belongs to humanity. We will protect it." The meeting ended abruptly. As the Defender returned to Earth, Baker stared out at the stars. They had always represented hope and possibility. Now they held a threat unlike anything humanity had faced. "Send a message to all world governments," Baker told his communications officer. Code Black. We have 30 days to prepare for war with the entire galaxy. The officer's hands trembled as she typed. None of their training had prepared them for this. Humanity stood alone against the stars. Baker watched Earth grow larger in the view screen. Beautiful, fragile, and now threatened. The aliens didn't understand what they had done. They thought humans were dangerous because they fought wars. They hadn't considered what humans would do when truly united against a common enemy. 30 days wasn't much time, but Baker knew one thing for certain. Humanity wouldn't go quietly. News of the alien ultimatum spread across Earth like wildfire. For the first time in history, all nations put aside their differences. Old enemies became allies. The 30-day countdown forced humanity to work together as never before. At CERN in Switzerland, Dr. Lisa Monroe hadn't slept in 3 days. Her eyes were red, and empty coffee cups littered her desk. She replayed the video of the alien ship for the 100th time, studying every detail. "There's something about their shield technology," she muttered. Lisa had noticed a pattern in the energy readings. The aliens were advanced, but their technology followed rules. Rules could be understood. Rules could be broken. Her computer beeped. The simulation was complete. Lisa stared at the results and slowly smiled. "That's it," she whispered. She grabbed her phone to call General Frank Martinez. Martinez was in the Pentagon's new Earth Defense Command Center. Screens showed military preparations from around the world. Countries were sharing weapons, technology, and troops. Factory. Workers built new defense systems day and night. Everyone understood what was at stake. His phone rang. "Martinez here." "General, it's Dr. Monroe. I've found something. They're shields. They create a specific energy pattern. If we match that pattern, but reverse the phase, we might be able to disrupt them." Martinez straightened. "How sure are you?" 80%. But we need to test it, and we need new weapons designed around this principle. You'll have everything you need. Send me the data." Martinez ended the call and turned to his staff. "Contact every weapons manufacturer. We have a new priority. In space, just beyond the moon, NASA pilot Kate Winters led a training squadron of experimental fighters. The ships were built using every bit of alien technology humans had observed during the Council's visit. "Again," Kate ordered. "Formation, Delta, tighter this time." Her pilots responded immediately, their ships moving in perfect coordination. Kate pushed them hard. They had faced war before, but never like this. Never against enemies with such advanced technology. "Remember," she told them during debriefing, "we have one advantage. They don't think we can fight back. They expect surrender." One pilot raised his hand. "But Commander, their ships are huge. Our weapons—" "Size isn't everything," Kate said firmly. "David beat Goliath. We'll find their weak spots." In Washington, D.C., President Olivia Carter faced hundreds of cameras. Leaders from every nation stood behind her in a show of unity. "Citizens of Earth," she began, 20 days ago we received an ultimatum from the Galactic Council. They demand we surrender our right to defend ourselves. They threaten our very existence if we refuse." She paused, her expression resolute. "Today we give our answer. Earth will not surrender. Humanity will not bow to threats. We choose freedom, even at great cost." The crowd erupted in cheers. President Carter raised her hands for silence. "We have 10 days until their deadline. In that time, we must prepare for a war unlike any in human history. But know this, we stand united. For the first time, all peoples of Earth fight as one." As the speech ended, Admiral Baker watched from the back of the room. President Carter approached him. "Are we ready?" she asked quietly, away from microphones. Baker thought of Dr. Monroe's breakthrough, of General Martinez's new weapons, of Kate Winters' pilots training day and night. "No," he answered honestly. "But we're getting there, and we'll fight regardless." Carter nodded. "The Council thinks they're dealing with divided, primitive savages. That's their first mistake," Baker said. Threatening Earth didn't frighten us, it united us. Above them, the countdown clock showed 10 days remaining. Somewhere beyond the moon, alien ships were gathering. The greatest test in human history approached. In labs and factories, in military bases and training grounds, humanity prepared. The message from every corner of the globe was the same. Earth would not go quietly. If the Galactic Council wanted a war, humanity would show them fury they never expected.